In this video, me and Eliza are going to head to the Grand Canyon for the first time together, and we're going to do some amazing hikes into the canyon, and then we're going to get to see some wildlife you really wouldn't expect in Arizona, and then we're going to get to see a real gunfight in the Wild West. And this is part of a bigger adventure for me and Eliza to hit every single national park and state within the United States before we turn 25. The Grand Canyon is about a 4.5-hour drive from Las Vegas, Nevada, where we live. It is 5:43 in the morning. It is still dark outside, as you can see. It's middle of February, so there's supposed to be a lot of snow, so we're a little worried about the drive. But it is warm here in Vegas. We don't really have that much of a winter. It's 50 degrees right now. The Grand Canyon is about 280 miles, or about 4.5 hours from Las Vegas, Nevada. We went during the middle of February, so there was a decent amount of snow as we got further along the road, but the roads were clear and the drive was very normal. It was mostly on I-40, so nothing too crazy. Even though we did go in the middle of February, there was still a ton of crowds, as you can see by this video. We had to wait about 30 minutes to get into the park, and we do have a national park, so park pass, so as soon as we got in, it was pretty much, we were instantly in the park, but we did have to wait a while to get in. And for our first stop, we decided to do just a very small portion of the South Rim Trail, really from the Visitor Center to the Geology Museum, which is probably less than a mile even. It was all flat, very paved, but it gave you very nice views of the Grand Canyon the whole way. The whole thing was paved. I would even go to as far to say as it was ADA compliant, because it was just pretty much a sidewalk, but it had amazing views, and it had all these viewpoints along the way. There was some snow along the trail, but for the most part the trail was clear. We did also see a lot of people walking their dogs along this trail, so it must have been dog friendly. We didn't see any signs. I know usually national parks are not very animal friendly because of the wildlife, but we did see a lot of people walking their dogs. Oh, I almost slipped on some ice.
Need the tampons.
Crampons.
That's what I said.
It is really muddy and
Moose.
she's wearing moose socks. But it is, the snow isn't melting, and it is just mud. We have agreed, if there is no rail, we are not going. Because number 1, it's scary. Number 2, it's icy. Number 3, it's muddy.
Number 4, I don't want to.
Number 5, she may push me off the edge, honestly. No, you are West Co-Game Foundation Formation.
Oh, good. You're probably like here, right?
Can I try?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're at the Red Wall Limestone.
We just did the South Rim Trail. Next up, we did the South Kebab Trail, which took us about another 45 minutes to get there because we didn't realize this was a shuttle-only hike. So it took us probably about another hour of walking just to get there because we did not take the shuttle. But once we got there, there was a decent amount of ice on the trail, so we were a little worried because it is a decent amount of elevation gain. It's over 1,000 feet of elevation gain and just about 3 miles, but we only ended up doing about 1.5 miles of that. We made it so far without our crampons. I thought I needed them. She said we didn't need some. She was right. A lot of ice, but just go slow and don't fall off the edge.
It's not ice.
Snow, slush, mud.
There's a difference between slush, snow, and ice.
So we've hit our turnaround point. We made it probably about 1.25 miles.
I don't know.
We're gonna start heading back, but this was the easy part. It was the downhill. So now we gotta head uphill.
It might be easier
You think so?
in the snowy part.
Yeah. Go all the way down.
No, screw that.
Honestly, once you do about 1 mile, you've pretty much seen everything. Because you're just walking along the canyon. And I mean, it's a beautiful view. If the video did not make this apparent, it is a lot harder on the way up, and there's a ton of signs saying be careful here in the summer because I can only imagine it was hot in February, how hot it would be in the summer, because it is a lot harder on the way up than it is in the way down.
I think the ice is easier on the way up. She was right again.
While we did bring crampons, we didn't end up using them, but we saw a lot of people slipping and sliding on the way down, so just be careful of that. After that hike, we decided to head back to Williams, where our hotel would be. She grew up in a desert, can you tell?
That was not graceful at all.
Hold on.
Well, I can make my way over. This isn't going very well for you.
On our second day, our first stop was Bearizona, which happened to be about 2 minutes from our hotel.
We made it to Bearizona.
It's like 2 minutes away.
Yeah, it was like 2 minutes from our hotel, but we made it.
Bye, Mr. Goat.
Bearizona ended up having a ton of animals. Originally, I kind of thought it was just going to be bears, but there ended up being deer, goats, even bison and wolves, which the wolves happened to be our favorite, even more than the bears. The wolves were getting really close to our car, and they ended up just being the most interactive, where everything else was just kind of chilling. Even though you drive your car through the park, they do charge you per person, which I thought was a little interesting, but there is a zoo at the end, so it kind of makes sense, but it ended up being about $70 for the two of us.
Don't mind this one, it's
Don't
gonna
mind,
be a
it's
little
gonna
bumpy.
be a hole.
It's gonna be a little
See,
bumpy.
they're shoving their faces into the food. And I was like, why are they green? That's why.
Minnie there.
He's sleeping. Look, he's green. It all makes sense now.
So at the end of your drive-through experience, there is a place similar to a zoo where you can kind of see the different animals. However, they're not really in cages, which is nice. They're more like habitats, and there's big grizzly bears. They had some baby cubs, and they had some really interesting animals that, again, I really wasn't expecting.
Iceland and Yukon.
How old are they?
They're just about 8 months old.
8 months is like human babies?
Pretty much, yeah. These guys are almost full grown though. They're about 12 pounds each.
The staff was very helpful and very informative on the different types of animals they had. And even though we went at like 9 o'clock in the morning during the middle of winter, it was still extremely busy when we went. We probably spent about 2.5 hours before we decided to head to Sellingham. And Sellingham is right along I-40. It's a part of Route 66, which I've always wanted to explore. And it was just probably about a 5-minute detour off the main interstate. Now, I've seen a lot of videos online about Route 66, so I had really high expectations. But when we did get here, it was pretty much a ghost town. And I think summer is definitely the peak season for Sellingham and Route 66. So pretty much every business we wanted to see was closed, but we did get to look into a few gift shops, and they had an interesting motorcycle museum, and I got some black coffee, and it wasn't great at all. But we decided to head to Kingman and try to make the best of it because we expected to spend a lot more time in Sellingham. So we had a lot of time to kill during our. After getting some lunch in Kingman, we realized that it was pretty desolate too, so we decided to head to Oatman for the day.
Made it to Oatman. How do you feel?
It's busier than the last place.
The road was a little rough,
Yeah.
but we made it. She wants to see a donkey. It's because I took her to this Sellingham or whatever, and there was not one person there. Then we come to Oatman.
Okay, warning, if you're 5'10", you might want to duck your nog a bit.
Why would we be here today? Now look, I couldn't rob him because while he was parked there, I was ducking the outhouse over there. Hey, what? You did all the way down, you wanted to hold the door.
We made it to the Grand Canyon.
Isn't this where you're supposed to show the Grand Canyon?
We finally made it to the Grand Canyon. We don't see the Colorado River.
I'll find it.
It's a lot harder on the way up.
Are you struggling?
Yeah.
Pretty sure the eggs are fake. He brought them out in a bag. And I got yogurt from a machine.
Yeah. Looked like seagull poop.
Hello.